What's up?
Yo, what's up?
How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good. It looks really bright over there. It looks sunny.
No, it's actually really ugly outside right now. It's raining
Gloomy.
all day. Yeah, all day.
Uh, um, how's your day?
It's good. It's really busy. Like a
Uh,
few, calls and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, just got home a little while ago. It's been good.
fire.
Yeah.
So let's start with you telling us a little bit about what you do. Let's start there. Like, what do you do? And we'll get into it.
So let's see. I always try to run down the list because sometimes I forget. Um, so I have a radio show. We just went independent. So we used to be on Dash Radio, but now we're just broadcasting directly to Audio Mac, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so I do that. I have my blog. I'm a writer and editor on there. Rosecransvic.com.
Hmm.
I also do an event called Don't Come to LA.
Yeah,
Yeah, which we're taking to South by Southwest in about a month. I'm really excited about that.
congrats.
Um, thanks. I'm really excited. And then what else? I also offer PR services. Been learning that over the past year.
Hmm.
Um, and then what else? I help A&R and somewhat manage an artist named Big Swift, who's
Uh-huh.
really dope. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I mean,
So
I
how'd
think
you how'd you start? Like, where'd you get your start and everything? How'd you get into
uh,
the hip hop scene?
it was just wanting to contribute and wanting to have um, a voice basically, and um, you know, seeing that there was a big void, especially in LA, where
Yeah.
not a lot of artists locally were getting covered by a lot of big media outlets that had offices in LA. And it would be
Hmm.
the most frustrating thing for me. I'm like, how does everybody have offices here in LA, never bothers to go outside and see who's hot in the streets and throw showcases and all this stuff. And it's because they're all corporate, you know what I mean? So it had
Right.
to
Yeah.
be an independent who really cares and can really build on the ground level with these artists. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, um, it was one of those things where I was looking for it, and then I was like, I can't find anyone that's doing what I want to do, so I have to do it myself.
Right. Which
Yeah,
is like showcasing what LA is all about and making sure all the artists are being covered and like represented properly and all that.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's pretty much. That was 2014 when I started. Started at college radio, and then did the blog, and then just moved on. You know, yeah.
Yeah. And how'd you start growing the brand? Like I saw on your site you have quite a few writers on there that contribute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing it was just you that started off alone and then people just kind of started seeing what's up.
Yeah, it was me. I had two other writers when we first started. Very grateful for them. They would help me with a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
But it was mostly me. And for I want to say 3 years, no one really cared about anything I wrote about, at all.
Yeah.
So it was just 3 years
That's
of
typically how it works when you
yeah,
first start something.
it was 3 years of a tree falling in the forest with no one to hear. Really, we had very low numbers. Not too many people cared. It wasn't really till we started doing actual live events that things
Hmm.
started to really pick up for us.
Yeah.
And then the radio show followed when I got it on Dash, so that was a big move at the time. And
Right.
then continued to just build with these artists and watch them grow. You know what I mean? We've been covering artists like Rucci and AZ Sway, AZ Chike since 2015, 2014, since we
Hmm.
started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are artists that have blown up a lot recently, and so building on the ground level with them was something that really as they rose, we continue to rise with them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first show?
My first show was it was AZ Sway was headlining.
Uh-huh.
Then we had, who else did we have? This was 2016, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And we had AZ Sway, we had Rob 2. I'm trying to remember who else we had. It was a dope show. And the funny thing about that show is that before like our headliner went on, which was AZ
Uh-huh.
Sway at the time, the lights went out. Like somebody hit a transformer on Sunset,
Uh-huh.
and the whole block went out, like for the entire, like the whole, all the lights went out for the entire block. And
Yeah.
so the show didn't really finish. Like it just kind of like ended like that.
Oh, that
And
was like
it,
towards like it was already going on and that happened.
yeah. So everybody was just like, and it was going so well. It was going so
Yeah.
well. It was like packed. And then everybody was just like looked at each other and was like, all right, I guess it's time to go home. And so
Yeah, because
it
I don't know
sucked,
what you'd be
but
able to do at that point.
you couldn't do anything. Like you literally
Yeah.
couldn't do anything. It was like 30 minutes later, um, the lights came back on, but everybody was already outside and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was, but it caught like, it was so like unexpected that like
Yeah.
people kept talking about it. Like I was at the
Hmm.
show and like this, you know, the lights went out, but it was dope. Like no one was mad when they left because it was still a good experience. They were just
Right.
kind of like wondering like what could have been. It would have been even better. Um,
Right.
but
Which is not bad because it leaves them like excited for the next event, you know?
exactly. So, and then the thing was too, like I had a decision to make. Do I ruin the relationship with these headliner and not pay them because they say like you didn't perform? You know what I mean?
Mm,
It was like,
hmm.
no, I'm gonna pay him, you know, everything, you know, that I promised him because it's not his fault, it's not my fault. But as a promoter, like you got to take that L. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
It's not. He showed up, he did his part. You know what I mean? So, just me knowing like I'm gonna do this again. This is
Yeah.
not for money. I'm not gonna get rich off of this. I'm gonna continue to build. And me and him, you know, to this day, have a great relationship. You know what I mean? And everybody else that showed up, it was like, you know, I could have gone one way. I see it like, and I could have just been greedy, um,
Yeah.
but I chose not to. Basically,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's when you know the person behind something is genuine, dude. Like, that's what
yeah,
it's all about, for sure.
yeah.
And at the time, it wasn't Don't Come to LA, right? Or it
No,
was?
at the time it was just a Rosecrans show. We just decided to just do a show, you know, like a live event, um,
Hmm.
and then eventually doing live events. When I collaborated with Jeff Weiss, it turned into Don't Come to LA.
And how'd that idea come about?
It came about because we had done one show prior together, but it wasn't called Don't Come
Uh-huh.
to LA. It was just like a collaborative show between the both of us, and it went really well. It was packed. We had O3 Grito. We were like the first time anybody booked him. We had him
That's
perform
fire.
it. Yeah, and then so it went really well. It was a Monday night, like in the summer, and it was packed, like 400 people in the room. Um,
Hmm.
so it went really well, and we were like, man, we got to do this again. That was August of 2017, and so we're talking like, yeah, let's do it again. Let's do it again. So in November, or it was November, December, we started talking more seriously. We're like, let's do this again, but let's make it like a real thing. Like, let's build a brand. You know, let's make this like a monthly
Hmm.
thing, and let's come up with a
Hmm.
name for it and everything. And then we're just kind of like spitballing ideas. And then he was like, oh, it has to be like a YG lyric. And then he was like, yeah, like something like "Don't Come to LA." And then I was like, stop right there. Like, don't say anything else. That's it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Yeah, so that's what we settled on, and then we did our first show March of 2018 last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
How was that?
it was incredible. Honestly, it was like, you know, it was a packed venue. You know, essentially like sold out.
Hmm.
We had G Perico as a headliner, and he did like an encore set of "I Love Thoughts." So that's like my favorite song in the world. So
Yeah.
he played it back because he felt so much love, like how the crowd was loving him, and he was just
Yeah.
like happy to do it. He was like, "Man, this is dope." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And how
Yeah.
do you, so how's this, I'm curious, like how's the scene in LA? Like, are artists really supportive of each other? Do they collaborate? Are they very competitive? What's it like over there?
You know what? It's a great scene. Like I'm blessed to be a part of it. Everybody's really cool, down to earth. collaborates all the time together.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to, you know, a Shoreline show, if you go to a Rucci show, AZ Cult show, you're going to see all the same artists there supporting one another.
Yeah.
And that's really dope. And that's because they've all came up together through the
Mm-hmm.
trenches, you know, were around when nobody cared, listening to each other's music. A lot of them actually knew each other before rap. Like a lot of them played football together just around the city.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, so, you know, everybody's around the same age, and it's really dope to see how close their stories are and everybody's intertwined in some way. And then
Mm-hmm.
a lot of artists just know each other from Rosecrans, like from being featured on the blog and seeing like, oh, okay, like that's dope. They're doing that. You know, I'm doing this. Eventually, they start to just get familiar with each other. And then me and
Right.
Cypress, you know, in the background, like, you know, kind of like putting plays together and saying like, you guys should work together or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like, you know, because so many artists do go to LA, you know, that aren't from
Yeah.
LA. How does that impact the local community and culture, in
I
your
mean, it
opinion?
depends. Like a lot of them don't necessarily come to LA. A lot of them go to Hollywood. You know what I mean? And it's like, if
Mm-hmm.
you know the difference, then, you know, then we support you. If you come to LA and are like, you know, checking in, like, not like checking in like in the like gangway, but like, if you come and like, I want to collaborate with this person or that person, like, we're gonna welcome you. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Shorty, he's from Baltimore. He's like on fire right now. Um, and he's getting like local LA support for his record Bituary,
Mm-hmm.
as if he's a local like LA artist. Everybody's playing his music. He was just in the studio with Cypress. He was in the studio with Shoreline. You know, I have him scheduled for an interview. So it's like we welcome people as long as they, you know, show love. You know, there are the
Right.
other artists that won't, you know, go outside of like the Hollywood Hills. That's fine. They could do that. Like, we don't really consider that them coming to LA. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
we're not gonna run into them. We're, you know, we're in a different like lane. You know, we're not like none of these artists that like I'm associated with like to go to the club and like pop bottles. Like, that's not our
Yeah.
thing. It just
Yeah.
never has been. You know.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, Dang. So what are like if someone wanted to check out the local scene, what venues would you recommend people go to for those shows?
I would say like the Roxy has like good shows. The Observatory in Orange County has good shows. The Glass House in Pomona. These are all kind of like, it's LA, but they're all kind of spread out, to be honest.
Yeah.
But those venues consistently have like good shows. Los Globos, you know, sometimes has good shows. Where we're doing our events now, we have an event March 1st at El Cid, which is in
Hmm.
Silver Lake on Sunset. It's a really dope venue that I like recently discovered, and
Yeah.
we had a listening party there in January, and it went really well.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, you could go there. We used to do our Don't Come to LA show at the Resident. The Resident's a cool venue. Yeah, but you know what's funny is like not too many venues do hip hop like every night. Like, there might be, you know, some here and there, but you know, for the most part, like, there's something going on like at least once a week, like
Yeah.
something of like a real dope like LA rap show.
When you first started putting on shows, did you get any slack from venues? Like, was it hard for you to like let them know you were trying to do a hip hop show, or were they like pretty open about it?
Um, yeah, but I would never sell it like a hip hop show. Like, I kind of knew. I was just like, yeah, it's like hip hop R&B. Like, you know, it's a lot, like, it's cool, like real smooth stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of knew, because if you come and say like, I want to throw a gangster rap show, they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, you know, we're actually booked that day and the next day and the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I think it's just the approach of like talking to them and like, you know, getting them comfortable with you. Because once they kind of get comfortable with you, they're like, okay, like, you know, he seems to be like have his senses in order. But it's also like you kind of have to finesse and be like, yeah, it's like R&B kind of, there's, you know what I mean? Like you kind of
Yeah.
have to play it to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like asking other promoters like what their experience is with that, just because
Yeah.
like when I first started out, it
Yeah.
was so hard to like convince venues like it's gonna be fine, you know.
Yeah.
But and what's the South by show gonna be like?
The South
What's
by
going on
show,
there?
it's going to be really dope. Our vision is to bring like LA to Texas for that night. So we're going to have a lot of dope LA artists that we really believe in, and we think they're going to have like a big year in 2019. We're going to bring them out there. So we have like Kaylin for real. We have Stupid Young, Sabi Third. Who else? We're going to have Jay Worthy. Who else? Big Swift. AZ Sway. So a lot of dope artists.
Yeah.
That we believe in. And then like other artists from other parts who we just really like have a good relationship with, like Chester Watson from Florida. Speak is gonna be there. A lot of dope artists that we really believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like for an artist that's coming up and like starting to get into rap,
Yeah.
or whatever aspect of hip hop in LA, and wants to get more involved in the scene, or someone outside of LA wants to get to know the LA scene more? Like, what do you recommend for them to do?
Follow me in Cypress Moreno and Rosecrans Avenue.
Yeah.
Like just see, because like if you see like what we're about, like we're not like clout chasers. We're not, gonna just hop on things that are, hot. You know what I mean? Like we move in a certain way, and we support like good music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like I said, Shorty's not from LA. We could have been on some, oh, he sounds like an LA artist, like, but he's not from LA. We don't like him. He's trying to steal our sound. But like the way we all seen it is like, that's dope. Our sound is spreading out and influencing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we
Yeah.
welcome him with open arms, and he's like a fan of like Garrido and, Blueface and like Shoreline and stuff like that. So, you extend that arm and, you show that, you show respect. Like we're always going to show respect back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there like no other like individuals or collectives or anything that are doing anything compared to what you guys are doing? Like no one's really supporting the scene or like covering the scene like that?
Yeah, I mean, but it's like the thing, it's like we are, okay, it's like the Lakers play in LA, right? Like, so do the Clippers. But like, who do you really want to like, who do you really want to follow? You don't want to be a Clipper fan. Like, come on, like,
Yeah.
like you could, like, I guess, but like, come on, like, we play for championships. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Are you saying like the intentions are different?
No. No, I'm just kidding. There's some dope outlets that they're doing their thing. They're just starting out. I seen one called like On the Rise Mag. They're pretty cool. Who else? And then there's like little movements of like other people do like events and stuff. I seen like Rise LBC did like a dope event the other day with AZ Sway. Slat Media's around. Newest Magazine is around. They're dope. So you could follow them too. They don't do the exact thing we do. They do a little bit similar, like a little bit different. We all kind of have like our own tastes and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
LA's a big city. Like we can't do everything by ourselves.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Would you say that artists in LA have like good resources? I mean, obviously it's LA and a lot of people go to LA for exactly that, but more so like on the local support level. Do they have resources, or do you think that's kind of scarce?
I mean, it's like they have some resources, but like you'd be surprised. Like there's no like, I mean, you could say like Capitol is like a LA based like big record label,
Mm-hmm.
um, but like all the rest are like an Interscope, but like the rest are like based in New York. So like a lot of artists, you know, LA artists are like taking label meetings. They have to fly to New York, which is
Mm-hmm.
like it's understandable, but at the same time, it's like yo, we live in like a huge city. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there, we
Yeah.
should have more resources. We can just go down to Hollywood and like take these meetings. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it's you know it's funny like, and then there's like not a huge like infrastructure of like um LA media people. I don't feel like I feel like I could kind of like there's like 20 or 30 people maybe that like are around in LA, and we're trying our best to like really organize it. Recently, like we've had like a lot of meetings like behind the scenes where we're trying to like really organize it to
Mm-hmm.
where like you don't have to go to New York, or like you can, you know, figure out, we can lay the foundation and resources and tell you like you should go like to this lawyer, you know, we can try to set up a meeting with this record label and keep everything like insulated so like nobody has to really go anywhere
Yeah.
because we're in LA, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like yeah.
Do you go to the Bay?
Oh, I want to go to the Bay. I went to the Bay last year, but like for some family stuff, but I haven't been to like go out and like network and stuff. But I definitely want to go because I love the Bay. I love the
Yeah.
music.
Um, yeah, I was wondering about resources because I find that really interesting of like you would think that they'd have more, you know? Do you
Yeah.
feel like do you feel like you and your brand have, you know, gotten more respect from those like higher up, you know, corporate labels and collectives and stuff like that, or like
Oh
them
yeah.
reaching out to you for like the LA scene and stuff?
Yeah, it's been happening a lot lately. Like, where it's like a lot of I have like a lot of friends that like like who are A&Rs at like different labels now. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
them are based in New York, and they tap in with me to see like to ask about an LA artist or a Bay artist and say like, hey, what do you think about this guy? You know,
Hmm.
what information do you have on this person? Like, what are they like? You know,
Yeah.
do you think they're for real? Stuff like that. Um, so that's been happening a lot. Um, to me, like what just happened today actually, or I don't know when it happened, but DJ Head and like Chuck Dizzle shouted me out when they were talking to Nima of like Empire, who's like
Yeah.
the executive over there. So that was really dope. Um, and yeah, just a lot of things have been happening like behind the scenes, where like people like asking me like, you know, just getting to know me and like what I do. They've seen my
Hmm.
name around and they say like, hey, you know what? Let's connect. You know, let's work on something. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Um, so what's the vision? Like where are you trying to take this? You know, I feel like you have a pretty established brand.
Yeah.
What's the vision? What are you trying to do from here on?
To build a, you know, big West Coast media company. Like
Hmm.
there's, if you look around, like on the West Coast, like there's hardly any. You could say No Jumper, and respect to them, like they're dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, if we do what we want to do, like we accomplish what we want to accomplish, like we'd be the, you know, one of the only LA natives to build an LA hip hop media, like a big, you know, big media company.
Yeah.
So that's like the real vision, to keep Rosecrans going and growing, and continue things, continue to put other people on, like our photographers, our videographers that we work with, our
Hmm.
writers. You know, our team is like steadily growing, and we're getting a lot of good people in with us. And
Hmm.
it's like we welcome any creatives. We're just like, you know, we have a blog, but we also do events, so we need photographers, and anybody that I see is like dope and gets it, I'm like, come on board. Like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
how can they reach you if they want to be a part of the team, if they want to work with you?
You gotta cash out me $5. No, it's fine. Um, nah, just
Venmo,
um,
link in bio.
yeah, link in bio. Nah, you just gotta just reach out. Like, you know, I respond to like pretty much all my DMs. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Don't send a link first though. Like that's kind of annoying when I get like just a link and nothing else, no
Yeah, you're
context. Like just,
human. You're
you
human.
know what I mean?
Properly
Yeah.
interact.
So
Yeah, introduce
yeah, you know what
yourself.
I mean? Like probably IG is better. I respond more on IG than Twitter. Um, but yeah, I mean, just connect. Like I'm just like you said, I'm just a real person. Like I talk to anybody. Like it doesn't even have to be about music. Like I'll probably respond to you more if it's not about music. Like initially, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's like I'm just a real person. Like so, yeah, just reach out to me, email me, whatever it is, cash at me, whatever. But
Yeah. Watch, you're
yeah,
gonna get people DMing you like, "What's your favorite color?" And then they're gonna throw you with a SoundCloud link.
it's whatever. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your time and
Yeah,
sharing your story a little bit.
yeah, appreciate it. This is
I
dope.
look forward to connecting more, dude. I know we haven't really had the full chance to do that yet, but
Oh
we'll
yeah,
get to it.
for sure.
All right, dude. We'll be in touch.
All right,
Thank you.
peace.